Our next talk is, our third talk is by my thesis group this semester. We have a cognitive social assessment of Witz, a cognitive training program for older adults. We've got Savanah, Atkins, Molly Pace, Jessica Graham, and Keiyhjuan Price.
Okay, I'm going to start off by giving a little overview of the Witz program. It's a program for older adults who are 55 and older. It's a 12-week program, and within that, there's 3 versions of it, so it's like 3 trimesters. It's completed in groups of 5 to 12 people, and the class meets once a week for about 45 to 60 minutes. And along with the DVD, the participants or the students in the classroom have spiral books for their answer sheets. Okay, so Becky McLaughlin, who is a retired educator and who was in the classroom for about 30 years, created the Witz program. She first created a learning center for children with autism and ADHD to use brain training games to help their memory and how quickly they complete tasks, and it also gave the children a little confidence boost. The grandparents of these children started coming up to Miss McLaughlin and asking her, would these brain training games help improve their memory as well? So she started working on a program for these older adults, and it incorporated 5 to 6 cognitive tasks that use these cognitive skills right here. And Witz is different from other programs because it incorporates a social aspect in which older adults gather together in a classroom and do these cognitive activities together instead of doing them alone in their own household. And the goal for this program was for it to be fun and engaging. So I'm going to let y'all try a activity that's within the Witz booklet. It's called Envision, and if you were in the classroom, you would see these directions. So the directions are: a common category will be given, then one at a time, words from that category will appear on the screen. Remember as many words from the list as possible, and when prompted, record the words on your paper. And this is kind of a screenshot of their booklet of what they would write in there. So I'm going to give y'all like a preview of it, and at the end I'm going to ask y'all to try to recall some of these words. And the words that are going to be presented are associated with grocery store. Okay, so if you were in the classroom, these would be the directions that you would see. You would be told to recall and that they did not need to be in any specific order, and you will have 1 minute. So do y'all want to start recalling some of the words that y'all just saw?
Peas.
Freezer.
Change. Receipt.
Okay, y'all have
Cereal. Buggy.
Okay, and then the participants would be presented with the answers, and they would be told to check their own answers. And they have the success graph down at the bottom, and they just write how many they got out of 10. And then they also, there's other activities within the booklet that has like easy to challenging, and they rate how hard they thought that the task was. Oh. So why do we care? The baby boomer generation is like 65 and older, and they are now 13% of our population. And each year, 3 months is added to their life expectancy, as you can see in this graph right here. And the number one fear in these older adults is cognitive decline and dementia. So people believe that these programs will help improve their memory and reduce the possibility of getting the cognitive decline. Cognitive training focuses on helping to improve core abilities to develop thinking skills. It helps to improve memory, attention, processing speed, self-control, listening skills, and more. Cognitive training is also referred to as brain training, mental stimulation, or a mental fitness program. Witz is considered to be a mental fitness program because it not only involves cognitive activities and tasks, it incorporates the social engagement. Cognitive training begins with a training period, and that kind of varies between each program. And after the training period has completed, the testing period is implemented. So this is to examine if the training of these cognitive activities will produce transfer effects on other cognitive skills. The intensity levels of programs are usually high, but that also varies within each program.
Now we're going to talk about the current study. Although this study mainly focused on the cognitive assessment of mental training, there was also emphasis on the social and emotional aspects of mental training, such as social interaction and engagement with peers. The current study was designed in order to test the validity of the Quick Weeks program as a mental fitness program, focusing on the 5 cognitive processes as shown on this diagram here. Locations that use the Quick Weeks program requested the assessment of the program so that they could receive further funding. This study included 2 hypotheses. One was that the amount of cognitive gain was not expected to be large, but there would be a benefit of stimulation and social engagement. It was also hypothesized that after the completion of this program, there will be an increase in overall well-being. Quick Weeks is offered at 82 locations across the United States, but we looked at 2 different locations in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The participants in this study included 65 older adults who were pulled from both the White Oaks Wellness Center and the Shepherd Center. Their ages ranged from 64 to 88, and the majority of the participants were high school graduates who pursued higher education. The averages for age, years of education, physical health, and mental health are shown on this slide right here. And there are no significant differences between these groups.
So for our experiment, before the participants went through the program, they completed a demographic sheet. They went through a cognitive assessment that we created to use as a baseline measure, and they also filled out a social engagement questionnaire. And that questionnaire asked them how many activities they were involved in, how often they attended them, and how much they enjoyed them. And it also asked them to rate always, sometimes, and never of 3 questions. 1, people are there for me when I need them. 2, I prefer activities with others more than being alone. And 3, I feel connected to the people around me. So they went through the program, like Molly said, it was 12 weeks. They met once a week to engage in some fun cognitive activities that were within the Quick Witz booklet, and our entire group actually attended the class during the semester with the participants, and the control group just engaged in the normal everyday activities. And after the program was completed, they took another cognitive assessment that we altered a little bit. It was the same cognitive tasks were included, but the content was changed so to try to eliminate the practice effects. They also filled out a life satisfaction index that it just rated various subjective feelings toward whatever we asked them. It was rated on a scale of 1 to 5. And then another SEQ that we could compare to the first one to see if there were any changes while they were going through the program. And then the Quick Witz participants completed a satisfaction survey. So these, how do you word that? Okay, so these are a list of some of the activities that are included in the booklet. And as you can see, not all of them are done every week that they go through the class. There's 5 activities per class, so there's obviously more than 5 up there. The only one that is included every single week is The Way It Was, and that's testing their long-term memory. And these are the assessment tasks that we used to test the individuals in our pre and post tests. And we use these specific tasks because they're well-known measures that have norms that go along with them that we could compare our results to. So moving on to results, for the Quick Witz satisfaction survey, they were asked if they benefited from the program, and as you can see up there, a majority of them said yes, they did. They felt that they improved in their cognitive skills, and they really looked forward to attending the class. And why they enjoyed the class was because it was challenging, but it was also enjoyable, and a big reason for that is that there was a lot of social interaction. And another thing they were asked was that if it encouraged lifestyle change, or if they got involved in any other activities because of this program. And again, a majority of them said yes. Even though a lot of them were already highly engaged individuals, they still found a way to add more activities to their lifestyle, with whether that was physical activities or some change their nutrition habits. And they also noted that they will continue these mental workouts because they felt that it was important to healthy aging and that this was fun. So to be able to measure the transfer effects, we realized that we would have to look at if the participants improved while they were in the actual QuickWitz program. So there are 6 participants that were willing to let us look at their booklets. They went through book 1 and book 2, and we compared the two. So as you can see on this graph, there's a little bit of improvement, so it's heading in the right direction, but what we found is that there's little to no gains on individual QuickWitz activities.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little bit of the individual task results for the QuickWitz group and the control groups from time 1 to time 2. The y-axis is going to provide you with a task scale, and the x-axis is going to show you both the QuickWitz and the control groups at time 1, and the QuickWitz and control groups at time 2. So, prepared associates, no effect was found. No effect was found for digit span. No effect was found for O-span. No significant effect was found for digit symbol. No effect was found for verbal fluency. No effect was found for Raven's progressive matrices. And no effect was found for delayed recall. But when looking at the social and emotional results found in the study, there was no effect of group and time nor an interaction on the number of activities that they had. And there was also no effect found for the 3-item SEQ score for group time, and then no interaction for them either. But there was ceiling effects prior to the second SEQ form that they filled out, because they already enjoyed spending time with one another when they filled out their first SEQ form. So, for the LSI, it was only given post-test and not pre-test, which means that there was no way for us to measure if there was any change for that from before to after. And the scores for both the QuickWitz group and the control group did not differ from the norms for their age. Overall, participants believed that they were benefiting from this program regardless of whether or not they actually did. And the QuickWitz participants had little to no gain on the individual QuickWitz activities. And this could be because they didn't have enough practice or time to get better at it. There was no transfer effects for the cognitive assessment that was found for the groups, and there was also no change in their social engagement at the end of the program. And like the ceiling effects, it's because they were already so highly involved at the very beginning. Some of the limitations and future directions could be to improve and add new tasks that match the original full versions. And we also might need to assess participants individually rather than in a group setting, as well as assess their concentration and visual processing. And LSI for both pre-test and post-test also needs to be done, as well as a new social engagement survey that's made for the participants to fill out. We also would need to assess their subjective memory, because they felt that their memory and cognitive skills were improving, regardless of the fact that that wasn't transferring to the activities themselves. So that'd be something we would probably need to assess. And then the take home for this program is that just because there were no effects found doesn't mean that the program did not benefit in some way to the participants. The qualitative feedback from the participants suggests that the program did have some type of positive impact, and that the program's goal, which was to be fun and engaging, was also achieved. There needs to be additional assessments of this program in order to further this research and to find out if it actually does have positive effects on cognition for older adults. Any questions?
Okay, the very first graph you showed, the control group improved in the experimental group got worse. No, or is that the first one? No, keep going.
Oh,
It was that one. It was that one. That one.
okay. What was the, sorry, what was the question again?
The control group improved and the experimental group decreased. I know it wasn't significant, but why do you think that is?
It's not significant, then it doesn't exist. Come on, Dr. Reed, all these years, right? It's not significant, then it doesn't mean anything. Because it's chance, right? Dr. Reed, we gotta teach them that standard error bars.
Sometimes I look thinner in here.
So all of your participants were self-selected. They all had signed up to participate in the QuickWits.
They were already members of the QuickWits program when we started the assessment.
Right. So would you predict anything different if, for instance, you went out and recruited people that hadn't maybe chosen to participate?
Definitely, because these people who are already in the QuickWits program are already so much involved, like they go to activities on a daily basis, so their cognition is already, I don't know, their engagement is already high.
They probably also want to do it, and like if we made people do it, they probably wouldn't do it forever. Or do it, like take the time to do it, you know, that makes sense.
How did you decide which person was in the control group or the QuickWits group?
The control group is actually pulled from the lifelong learning classes here.
And those locations.
Oh, and those other locations, but they did, wait.
They just weren't in the class. They were in the they went to like for the Shepherd Center and or they were members of White Oak in some
So there
way.
wasn't any random assignment?
No.
Okay.
So do you think the solution, I mean, it seems like the tasks were kind of easy, so they were fun, so do you think the solution is to make the tasks harder, which they won't have as positive of an experience, but do you think that would be a way to make them?
Actually, sitting inside the classroom, the task, or we call them activities in the QuickWits program, but they really are kind of challenging because we sat in and we had difficulties working on them, because that was kind of one of the easier ones. We pulled this from Ms. McLaughlin's website. Y'all can go look at the website. It's just, I think,
QuickWits.com.
And that's just the one we pulled, but there are some other challenging ones that is incorporated within that program, because I had difficulties with them.
But I do think that if it was a more intense of a program, then the results would be different. I think like if it was 2 days a week or more time or something, I think the results would be a lot different, because it's only a 12-week program once a week, so I mean you can keep going.
Maybe, yeah, time for one more and then.
I was wondering, this study, this is I find this very meaningful research, and this is very different from the type of experimental training, some of it is, that you all have gotten in Wofford. So I was wondering what it was like for you to do this kind of evaluation rather than doing a kind of a lab experimental study, which is what many of us have trained you all to do.
I actually really enjoyed it. I love going to the classroom and seeing like them trying to come up with different strategies to figure out how to do the tasks at hand. I don't know, I think it's really cool research, and I think more people should be more involved in it. That's just my opinion. I don't know if y'all have different.
I mean, you really gotta, because you know, I have worked about Pittman with a lot of rats, and it's completely different. It's a lot of interaction, not with the rats, but with this. But it was like nice. It was like different, like you said. They're both great.
We enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you, guys.